Hello, RoKStars. How's everyone going? So today we got a special stream, and by special stream, I mean we have a special guest in our audience today, and we're going to have one of the kingdom leaders from 1365 present here, and he's going to be here with us in the next 5 minutes. So we're going to have Uchi here, who is going to come join on the stream on voice, hopefully, and we're going to ask him a few questions. And when I say we're going to ask him a few questions, what I mean is migration-related questions. So over the last few weeks, we had quite a bit of streaming covering 1365 fighting, and then there was a lot of people who were interested in probably coming to 1365. Now, if you're a big fighter, big whale, obviously, it's a different story. You're kind of, looked after in a different sort of way. But then I'm talking about average people who has an average account, like this account of mine. This is probably a little bit below average. So this is my alt account with 63 mil power at the moment and not even a billion kills. So this is depressing. So I think if you look this depressing, you probably shouldn't, aim for 1365. But then there are lots of free-to-play and low-spender fighters who have, I guess, similar level of powers, maybe a little bit more. But then in terms of kills, I would say that there are people that has a lot more because they're fighting more actively than I do on my alt. So this stream is about those people. JST Jaws, hey man. Uchi, hey, Uchi is on the stream as well. B, hey man, how are you? Pretty good, man. Isn't the Kingdom Alliance full? So at the moment, Sad, 1365 at the moment is in KvK, so obviously you can't migrate straight away. But then in terms of our KvK, it has 6 days left. So I guess the topic that we are trying to address today is after 6 days, what's the migration plan from 1365? I don't know whether Uchi can give us, I guess, a concrete answer, but then at least we get some answers. And the reason why I'm saying we need to have a person, I guess a person from leadership to be present here is because all these questions, I don't know the answers. So I got all these messages on Discord and in game chat as well, but then I don't know the answers and I didn't want to do a guesswork, and I thought it would be best to have Uchi here. Now, Uchi is on stream already. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to try to give him a call on Discord and then have that voice call connected to the stream. And then I have a few questions that I want to ask, and you guys can type away your questions. You guys can type away your questions in chat, and then we'll try to read out some of them as well. Now, whilst I was trying to do the call, I missed a subscriber notification. So sorry about that. Cat SSI, thank you for your subscription. But then let me try to call Ruff 1365. Hey man, how are you going? Let's see what Uchi has to say. So Uchi, we are giving you a call. Now I need to make sure that everything is working. So input, output is... So this is where we usually struggle.
Hey man.
Hey Uchi. Hey man, you can hear me clearly?
I do, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I think I need to increase your voice somehow. Let me see if I can. So guys on stream... Raf, you're average. You're a rally leader, man. So guys on the stream, on chat, can you please let me know if you guys can hear both me and Uchi? Can you hear both of us?
Go easy on me, guys. My headset is like $10, so.
Sure. Yes, everyone can hear. Okay, great. Sandy, Majed, thank you everyone for your confirmation. So Uchi, man, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, man. I think it's my first ever attendance on the live stream.
Well, small channel hours here, so we don't get too many guests either. Usually it's me begging people to come over and kind of be here. But then I was kind of shocked that you kind of agreed, because I thought you were going to say, no, this 1365 strategy is secret. I'm not going to waste my time talking on your channel and all that.
I do a lot of begging for people to come here, so I know how you feel, man.
No, all good, man. Now, questions that we're going to ask is going to be around 1365 migration mainly. But then let's start off a little bit easier. Let's talk about this KvK. So the first question, going easy on you. What's your take on this KvK so far?
Well, man, this KvK for me personally has been like one of the best. I'd say a top 3 KvK for me. You know, it was very draining, a lot of sleepless nights, and just everything respectful to our enemies. You know, I call them my true Habibis. This KvK.
Yeah. So these guys, the kingdoms and alliances that we are fighting, they were very, very impressive, as in especially 2338, right?
Yeah. As far as like my general idea of a young kingdom is that they're lacking quite a bit of, you know, firepower, but 38 they made up that with insane activity. Like, as you could see, and as you probably felt yourself on field, they just sent their entire kingdom to one spot, and it was devastating.
Yeah, so it's shocking, as in at first, and this is me being honest, I thought that if I go and try to fight 2338, then I'll probably have a bit of a better luck in terms of getting kills than against 1875. But to be honest, as much as you said, like as much as they were using some of the earlier game commanders, when it comes to their activity, they were kind of, you know, killing us with their numbers pretty bad.
Yeah, it was amazing how much people they sent on field, to be honest. Like even if they were using commanders that, as you said, were early on commanders, you know, getting hit by 30 of them hurts.
Yeah, definitely. So congratulations to 2338 and 1875 for putting up a great fight. And I think just to get a clarification, I think I saw that on the mail as well, but we had an agreement with them since the end of Kingsland fighting where the rewards are somewhat being shared with those two kingdoms as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, as you probably saw in the announcement, we still get like full rewards, and as a token of our gratitude for amazing KvK, we told 875 and 38 that they could have some of their own, you know.
Yeah.
We're not a kingdom that likes to be petty about rewards, you know. We win, but if we get what we want, we don't need more than that, you know. So.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that was great about this KvK, as in terms of, you know, we had a great fight, but end of the day, we're, you know, making friends and good relationships, because next KvK, they could be our allies as well, right?
Oh, who knows, man?
Yeah, definitely. Madam, now that we talked about our KvK a little bit, going to the main point of our discussion for the day. So what can you tell us about the migration plan for 1365? So we are still Imperium. How does the plan look like for us? Are we going to get migrations? When? Who can come in? Or, you know, that type of things. We are not Imperium, actually. Sorry, my bad.
Where we're not?
No, we're not. I don't think we are. I'm just checking it now. Am I looking at it wrong? 1365, not Imperium.
I think we are. Wait, what?
This
is new to me, man.
I thought
I gotta say,
yeah.
I'll open my green screen. Yeah, we're still Imperium. I think you have a bit of a bug in that system right now, because it shows no kingdoms are appearing for you.
Oh, okay. So that could be the case as well. Oh, actually, now everything is Imperium again. Sorry, my bad. So the game just refreshed now. So I clicked on the Lost Kingdom map and it was showing no one is Imperium. But then I have a feeling 2244 is going to stay Imperium for a while. But then it does look like we are still Imperium as well. So yeah. So what's the plan, man? Are we dropping Imperium?
Yeah, I mean, we've just done the stats of the KvK. We know how much people still need to drop. So with that and with hospital fills, we'll be out of Imperium with quite a big buffer, I should say. So we can just proceed with the migration. You know, the past few migrations have been huge. We're not looking to do that again. So we're just replenishing our ranks. You know, making sure people with low contribution, as we should, well, get out of the alliance, and fresh active people get back in.
Yeah. And
we're just doing a regular sized migration.
Okay. And how, I guess, how many fighting alliances would you say we currently have officially, and how many fighting alliances do you plan to have in 1365 going forward?
We have 4 like main alliances, if you can qualify them as main alliances, and we have 1 support for the Koreans and 1 support for, well, the international, so which is BLN and OG.
Yeah.
And we'll stay at that. You know, I don't see the benefit of creating more alliances than what we have right now.
So we're looking at 4 main alliances and 2 support sort of alliances, right? Is that the plan? Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the supports will function as filling up the KvK capacity we'll have along the way. So when you look at DF is the Korean sub-alliance. So whenever we have an overflow in capacity, we'll just send DF in the alliances, and same for DG. I think DG is a bit more below.
Yeah. DG.
So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Now that sounds good. But now, I think then the question would be, for most of the KDs out there, most of the high-profile KDs, usually they have a Discord server. So that for migration. So the 2 exceptions that I guess I personally know of, one of them is 1034, and I think 1034 is very closed in terms of their migration. What about 1365? Like, why do we not have a Discord server for migration?
Well, we do actually have a Discord server, but we just do it on invite.
So not like a public server.
Yeah, we kind of scout around and talk to people, because you know we have a split community. As a hybrid kingdom, we have a Korean side and we have an international side, so we need to know how people will function in that hybrid community. So we just talk to them, and when we get the right vibe and get the right feeling and it's the right type of fighter, then we invite them to our Discord.
Okay. Now, Madam, I'm gonna ask a question from the chat. So I'm not too sure why. A lot of people are asking in chat whether you are from a Dutch background. Is that kind of true?
Is it that obvious that I'm Dutch?
I don't know. People wants to know, so I'm asking. I mean, you could be. Yeah, there's a.
I'm from the Netherlands. Yeah.
Okay. So how come you spend? Actually, you do spend a lot of time in BLN, rather than.
Yeah.
I
have been in BLN for about 2 years now.
Yeah. I mean, during KvK, most of the players kind of move around where the fight is, but then we do see you more in BLN, so that kind of makes sense. All right. So the next question that we will have then is, so in terms of identifying the right level of fighters that can be invited to the not public migration server on Discord, what kind of stats would you normally be looking for? As in, say, for example, I'm talking about someone over 100 million power. So if someone's over 100 million power, what kind of stats do you expect from them to be invited to join 1365?
You know, if you're like 100 mil power, you can lose a lot of troops. So 100 mil power with, let's say, 17 mil death. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it generally. But we base that on account age. So let's say you're 100 mil with 17 million dead troops, and your account is like a year old, then we can make an exception on that, you know. So we basically just wager the KP versus the power and death and account age.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have, you know, concrete requirements or stat requirements, you know. Basically everything is case by case. And even if you have like a big fighter account with, let's say, 10 bill KP and 50 million dead troops, but you just don't click with what we want to be as a kingdom, then you still, you know, get denied.
So is it more on a, based on that comment, is it more on a, you know, referral basis, as in for someone to be invited, would you kind of want to know them first? Like,
we do actually. That's a big part of our whole migration system. Like we do. I'm sure every big kingdom does it, but we do background checks. You know, when someone we don't personally know from the community applies, or we want him to come here, then we just ask around. Do you know this player? How is he? How is he in field? How is he in fighting? And just make sure we get the right people.
Yeah.
Because it's an administrative hell to get the wrong people. You only have to kick out again, you know?
Yeah. No, of course. But so then the last question on the spenders side of things would be, so say for example, if we have a viewer out there who let's say has close to 100 mil power, and let's say have 10 bill kills, and probably let's say has a good amount of deaths, close to 50 maybe. So unless he knows someone in 1365, how would he then approach getting in touch with someone in 1365 for migration?
Well, for BLN, I know we have the recruitment officers on the alliance description.
Yep.
So you can always refer to those people. For us, I know it's me and Silent as officers, but we have a group of recruiters basically. So you can always contact the leadership of an alliance or a kingdom to ask if you can join us.
Yep.
I think that's a pretty straightforward thing to do. If we haven't already contacted you, because we're pretty active in terms of PMing people, especially if you have good stat.
Then you'll get a response much faster, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before the next migration question for the viewers, just confirming. So I guess if you're from an Asian background, Asian time zone, I would say that you can contact Save, who is the migration contact person listed on JST's page, Alliance page. And then if you're more of an international person, then you can contact someone such as Silent or Uchi, which is again listed on the migration column under the BLN page. And then that doesn't mean you're applying for JST or BLN. It actually just gets you in contact with someone so that your stats can be reviewed and you can be considered for, I guess, migration. So that's how. Yep.
You could say that, yeah. But I think, like, if I talk about the international side of the kingdom, as a BLN as well as OG are pretty standalone alliances. So if you apply to BLN and you talk to a BLN officer, we kind of try to get you in BLN. And same goes for OG, because they have their own recruitment specialized officers as well.
Yep. So in just looking at OG, we got Days, Kiko, Hades, and Ruff. So Ruff is on the chat as well, guys. So bother Ruff as much as you want. If you,
Ruff is also my habibi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So bother Ruff, guys, about migration. Okay. So now one random question before we dive into the free-to-play or lower spender side of questions. So on chat, someone asked me. I think a couple people actually asked me. For the next KvK, does 1365 look forward to playing against 1254, or it does 1365 doesn't wanna face 1254, or are we kind of neutral about whoever we face?
I mean, it's safe to say that both 365 and 254 are like the top two kingdoms in the game at the moment, so it's inevitable for us to fight again. I mean, big respect to 254 and the past migration, because they've been killing it, and so we're looking forward to fighting them, like we're supposed to do, But I do know that we're actually looking for kind of a recovery KvK next. Because if we do want to fight 254 and people want to see that, they kind of expect everyone to be on their A-level game, So I cannot really give a clear answer on who we are going to fight next. Because in all honesty, this KvK was supposed to be recovery KvK as well, and it ended up being a 1v3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question that I have as a player in the kingdom myself. So I saw some communication previously talking about how this could be like a recovery KvK for ourselves. But then we took a 1 versus 3, like what the? So how do you call a 1 versus 3 recovery KvK, man?
We sat down with the leadership of the other kingdoms and we kind of talked about how they envisioned the KvK. Because in our opinion, if we did a 2v2, the KvK would have been too much on our favor, you know, and it would not have been an experience that is positive for all kingdoms.
Yeah.
So we kind of sat down and they agreed with, you know, we're the big kingdom in this KvK. So if we do a 2v2, then it's gonna be hard for the other ones to get a win out
Even
of this.
compete,
So
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to put a lot of feathers in our own butts, you know, but we are significantly bigger than the rest at this point. So we're looking to balance a KvK more than we, you know, try to do as a recovery KvK.
Yeah.
A 2v2 would just not be enjoyable for whatever side of this game.
Wouldn't have been. Yeah, no, you're right, man. Definitely. Now, guys, viewers, again, I may have missed a lot of comments because I'm kind of trying to focus on the conversation. And if you have questions, obviously feel free to keep typing in. We got another content creator here on chat. Apocalypse. Hey, man. I know you're from NZ. One of the viewers told me before. So let's actually start talking about the main topic that we wanted to talk about today, which is, does free-to-play, very low spender players, but then active fighters have a place in a kingdom like 1365? Like, as in, can they come in to 1365? So if we are talking about players around the 70 mil power mark, or maybe just under 70 mil, what sort of stats do you want to see on their accounts to consider, bringing them in?
Well, we do already have some free-to-play players, and what we see in them is that they try to compensate their spending behavior by being insanely active, you know. We actually have a few that reach 30 mil kills every KvK, which is insane as a free-to-play. So not really basing things off of stats, you know, but more like how much is the motivation. Don't be too high power, because we do have certain KvK requirements based off, you know, power loss and death troops. So just try to be what you should be in your category. If you're free to play, don't be 100 mil. Like, you're way easier getting in when you're 70 mil, and like try to get in TG first, you know, the sub alliance, and then make your way up to main alliance if you do good. So it's not like we don't accept free to play, but it's just a bit harder to gauge how we should get them in, if that makes sense at all, you know.
Well, I get the philosophy, but I think more of a direct question would be, so let's say, for example, there's someone that is watching the stream right now who is not a famous player or anything, and he doesn't have a profile or anything, and let's say he has 70 mil power and he's willing to drop it to, say, 65 or something, if that's what's required, and he wants to come in. Let's say he got 2-3 billion kill points, and let's say he got something like 10 mil dead, which is probably quite average for a free-to-play player who has been playing for, like, say, 2.5 years or so. So he's not going to be the active most, but then not active most as in he's going to be active, but he's not going to be the biggest contributor in a way. So should he apply to 1365? And if he applies, it's not like you're going to know much about him. So what are you going to base the judgment off? Or is it the case that if you're under, say, 65, then you're not impacting matchmaking or anything anyways, so they're kind of welcome to come as long as they got semi-decent stats? So those are the type
Yeah,
of questions we are trying to answer, man.
I think the latter, you're not impacting the top 300 much, so you're pretty safe. And if you say you have like 4 bill KP as a free to play, then it means that you love to fight and you know how to fight. So by all means, apply to the kingdom.
So outside top 300, as long as a player, doesn't hit the top 300, then all we are checking is if they have somewhat decent stats in terms of kills and deaths, right?
Yep. Like if you're free to play, I'm not really expecting you to have a lot of dead troops, but as a free to play, you have field presence, you have activity. I mean, you made sure you have a lot of resources, so your KP can be quite up to par. So that is basically a dead ringer for an active free to play that knows what he's doing, and if you know what you're doing, then you're welcome in the kingdom.
Yeah, that makes sense. So man, at the moment our top 300 ranking finishes at 73,000 roughly speaking. So for us to drop out of Imperium when we are filling hospitals and doing whatever else we need to do, that number is going to look under 70, right? At least 68, 67, something like that.
I mean, right now you have the Hall of Heroes top 300, so it's going to shift.
Oh yeah, true.
But with the impending power drop and the hospitals, we're still gonna lower that a bit. I think we'll come out around 73.
Yep.
After this return, like we basically always do, because the Imperium border is usually the same, around 26 billion.
Yep.
So I think that's a fair judgment to say that it's gonna be what you're seeing right now, basically.
Yeah. So it's going to be somewhat consistent. So yes, what Uchi is saying is, as much as we are going to fill hospitals and the other things that you kind of go through, killing, siege and whatnot, so even after go through all of that, Hall of Heroes is going to come back, so that number is probably not going to change. So we are looking at a safe comment, and I'm kind of trying to add lines to what you're saying, man. Sorry about it, but just to simplify, would it be fair to say that if you're over 73 million power, or if you're higher than 70, for example, then your stats will be scrutinized a lot more, because obviously at that stage you're impacting the matchmaking? And if you're below 70, then there's not a big expectation in terms of your number of deaths, but then we would want to see, I guess, activity through kills at least. Is that somewhat fair to say?
Well, I think if you want to simplify it that much, that's a safe assumption to do. Yeah, let's just keep it at that.
Okay.
As long as you don't impact too much of the Imperium power, then yeah, it's a lot safer for you.
All right. Now, I guess then the next question follow up on that would be, so if there's someone out there who is obviously following the 1365 KvK, they like how, the kingdom has been fighting and having fun and all that, and they want to be part of it, does the same thing apply for, I guess, under 70 mil power players as well? Should they be messaging, I guess, the listed migration officers in terms of each of the alliances, or how do they go about it?
Yeah, it's the same basically. It goes for pretty much every recruit, every potential recruit. You just apply to the people that are governing the recruitment section. And when you do, we can always talk about if you're going to be inside a main alliance or a sub alliance, But it's the same way for pretty much every spending class.
Yeah. So I guess then what I would say is, can they then maybe consider applying, actually, you know what? For JG, it actually says save as well. It says JST save. So is JST save, as in save, is the main point of contact? Because all those other alliances have save as migration officer listed.
Yeah, save is the Korean god of the game, So
yeah.
If you're Korean, if you want to apply to 365, just message save.
Okay. So
I mean, everyone should message save. He's amazing.
So would it be save on his game chat or would it be save on his Discord?
Well, Koreans mostly use KvK Talk, so they do a lot of marketing and recruitment through KvK. So basically, if you're Korean, you know how to approach them anyway. But if you don't use those kind of platforms, you can always do it through the game.
So what if you're not Dutch or Korean or from the States? Who do you talk to? So say for example, let's say for example, I'm from Sydney, and let's say I'm not in the kingdom. I want to come in. I got 70 mil power. I got 2 bill kills. Which alliance should I contact?
I mean, it's not based on ethnicity. If you speak English, then you can easily go to an international alliance.
All right. So in that case, I would still apply. I mean, not apply. I'll still try to get in touch with Silent and Uchi. And based on my stats, I could be considered for BLN. And if my stats are not good, then I could be considered for number 7 or 6 alliance, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, basically. We try to we don't try to overfill TG as a sub alliance, but if you're really an active player, motivated, and you want to just participate in our KvKs, and you're not there yet in terms of main alliance, and yeah, we can offer you a spot in the sub. Yeah.
Yep. But then I think the key thing for everyone watching to consider is, if you look at the KvK reward type situation, obviously there's only 5 alliances that can be included in terms of the rewards. But then saying that each of the 5 alliances will have like a lot of spots because of the flags, right? So as long as you're getting your kills and honor and whatever you need to get the rewards, even if you're playing on the 6th alliance during the non-KvK period, it's not like you're excluded from rewards, right?
And that's also the main reason why we don't want to overfill one of the subs, because people are being left out even though they contributed. So we're just trying to keep a healthy amount of players inside those subs so they can easily transition between sub alliance to main alliance in terms of KvK and rewards.
Yeah. Now that definitely makes sense. Now, I think they're the main sort of migration related questions that we wanted to ask you, man. But whilst you're here, I'm still just going to summarize it again. So guys, the main people for migration in 1365, I would probably say, based on everything which is just said, would be to contact one of the R5s or listed migration officers on the alliance pages. So you can contact Save, you can contact Ruff, you can contact Hades, Kiko, Days, you can contact Uchi, or you can contact Silent. So based on, I guess, your stats, regardless whether you're contacting an officer from JST, OG, or BLN, you could be placed in some of the other alliances, and that obviously depends on your stats. Now, if you are a high power player, then obviously your stats are scrutinized a little bit more because you are, I guess, then impacting matchmaking a little bit more. But then if you're under 70 million, then activity is the key thing. And when we say activity, we usually mean your, I guess, kills in that case more than your deaths, in a way, just to simplify. But then those things can be discussed. And 1365 finishes the KvK in 6 days time, and then there's obviously the 3 days of Hall of Heroes and whatever KvK related happens, and after that migration will probably open. So you're looking at a 10-day period to get in touch with the 1st of November. Okay, there you go. So 1st of November is when migration opens. Within 1st of November, 1365 will drop power. Now, this is not a stream which is kind of, initiated by 1365, because as you guys experienced, 1365 is a little bit closer than some of the other kingdoms in terms of migration. But then at the same time, if you're interested, you can still reach out. There's still a way to reach out. Was that a appropriate summary of things that we discussed, Uchi?
Well, I couldn't have done it better myself. So
Thank you. Now, just a couple more questions before we let you go, and I promise it's just a couple. And after that, guys, we're actually going to close the stream there as well. So the only thing that we wanted to do here today is talk about migration. So it's not like I got something else going on. So whilst I'm asking the last two questions, if you have any questions for Uchi, good time to type it in now. So, Uchi, what's your take on the in-game mail that we received the other day, as in the new updates? What's your take on the new mechanisms coming?
I must say I haven't been really paying attention too much to the new updates. I know there's this armament system.
Yep.
But I haven't really paid an in-depth look on it. I've only seen a few pictures of the new KvK format, and that's about as far as my knowledge goes.
So there's two things, and that just means that we are probably going to have to get you back on the stream again when you find out a little bit more about it, maybe another time. But then the two new things, one of them is the new KvK mode, which kind of sounds interesting. Didn't see anything bad over there. There's a team matchmaking system, so it kind of sounds like, we can have those dream KvKs that we wanted to have. So,
as far as I know, it's going to be 2 A kingdoms and 2 B kingdoms.
It doesn't say that though here.
Yeah, but I've heard that somewhere. Like this.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, actually, it did mention kingdom classes. So, do you think it's going to be like, based on what you heard so far, does it kind of feel like very similar to the light and darkness kind of system?
Yeah, it's as far as I can tell, it's pretty much the same, or at least equal to the LVD system, which was it was kind of good system.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
We all know that Lilith likes to do weird things in terms of matchmaking, so I guess this new system kind of tackles that again.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I totally agree with you, because say, for example, in one KvK we can have, as you mentioned, 1254 being one of the more I guess bigger KDs and stronger KDs, and 1365 somewhat along the similar category as well. So in one KvK, technically you can have 1365 fighting against 1254, and you can plan for it. And then in another KvK, it could be 1254, 1365 allied versus someone else. So basically, those are just being examples. You can actually plan who are you're going to go into KvK with, right?
Yeah, that sounds, at least from what I can tell, that sounds really how it is.
Yeah, so that definitely sounds exciting. So we were kind of talking about it on stream yesterday, and that definitely felt quite exciting. What, at least to me, didn't kind of feel too exciting. I mean, a part of me is excited, and a part of me got scared, and that's to do with the armament system. So, like, how I read it, man, is it's going to be like an equipment system for your formations. Now, formations, I read it as if it is going to be like a free thing. So you just pick a formation, but then you put equipment, which is armaments, on your formations. So that kind of feels like a massive grind and a new way of spending a lot of money. Is that how you read it, or am I reading it wrong?
I mean, like, the way I see it right now is basically, if you have, you can put a tanky commander in front and to range behind something, I guess, and you can put even more defense related armaments on that tanky march. Is that, I don't know if I should see it like that, but
so that could be a strategy. But then in terms of armaments, you know how it uses so word for word, this is what it says: we have also released 28 unique armaments that can be equipped on various formations. Now, when they use the term equipped, I'm thinking it like an item that you have to craft or forge or buy or something like that. Is that how you read it, or not really?
Yeah, I think somewhere below those lines they say something about events related rewards that you can get the armaments from. I think
the way I read it is, so under armaments there's something called inscriptions, which I read like crits. So I read it as if you have to get the armament somehow. I don't know how, and I was worried that it's buying.
Below, like 5 building, they've
Yeah.
added the state forum. So that state forum allows you to get those armaments.
So what you're saying is there could be a way. You're right, under 5 it does say that under the state forum. So what you're saying is there could be a way for people to get it, not necessarily just with bundles, but you possibly can get it other ways as well, right?
They have no other choice for doing that. They still have to apply to the low spending / free to play community that still want to have those armaments. So it makes sense for them to do something like a new building or events or quests that give you those armaments. Yeah.
Okay. So you know what? It's a good thing that we just had a chat about it, because yesterday when I read it, I was kind of worried about this account of mine in 1365. So I was worried for this account in 1365 because I was feeling like, okay, I'm gonna do even worse in field fighting, trading wise. And then I was worried about my main account in 1556, where, oh my god, I gotta spend even more. So what you're saying is it may not be as spendy as as I may have initially read, right?
Yeah, I think there's a good proportionate size to the free-to-play aspect of getting those armaments, yeah. At least from what I expect Lilith to do.
Yeah. No, I hope you're right. That's kind of good news. Now, last question of the day, and after that, I promise I'll let you go. So we have a lot of viewers on the channel who are rather new to Rise of Kingdoms, so they may have started playing recently, KvK 1, 2, maybe. So what's your advice for them? What should they be? Well, actually, let me not, say more. What's your advice for them?
Well, I come from an era in the game where you have to figure out everything yourself. I've been playing this for about 4 years now, so we didn't really have a lot of content already on YouTube. So my advice as a baseline would be just to watch a lot of content creators. I know Chizgul has a lot of basic stuff he puts on his channel for starting players, free to play, whatever. And when you do that, just watch for generally applicable content. Like if you're a free to play, don't go watching videos for a best 7 March lineup and all that kind of stuff. Aside from that, just start a lot of farms. Resources is important. Don't go T5 just yet. Make sure your account is up to par before you go T5, because it's a lot of resource costs. Invest in gear, I guess. Gear is important. Equipment. Timeless commanders. Like if you, let's say you just start KvK 1, KvK 2, and you focus everything on doing Charles Martel and Richard, and you go into Season of Conquest without any universal heads, and you're gonna be way behind on people that actually do have, let's say, Guan Yu or Nebu or whatever. So just make sure you choose the right commanders for every kind of season. I think that's it. Oh yeah, and don't do events you cannot win. Like if you're low spender, don't try to win a MG.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I've made those mistakes a lot.
Well, the time when we started playing, like when we were going through KvK 1 and 2, MG was the only way to get Saladin, for example, right? So it's not like we had a choice. But then now it's a different story, because you have so many choices in Will. You can pretty much enjoy the game with very good marches without having to ever compete for an MG in a way, right?
Yeah, well, the way I see it, the most field-related commanders always show up on the wheel.
Anyways,
yeah. Yeah, you can just do wheel commanders and prove yourself on the field, because most garrison and rally commanders show up on MG.
Yep. So since the start of this year, Lilith hasn't released any field. Well, actually, most of you're right. So since the start of the year, MG is usually commanders that you don't need for open field.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just the start of this year or it's always been like that, but that's the thing I can give to most players. You know, if you're just looking for field commanders, don't overextend on MG, because if you're in a big kingdom, let's say in 365, if I save up a lot of speed ups, and I try to go for MG commander, and I use all my speed ups, but some other guy like a whale decides to push MG, I'm pretty much out of everything for a commander I'm not gonna get and wasted everything on.
Yeah, pretty much. Saying that, guys, today we found out Uchi is not our friend based on the comments that he just made like earlier. So when I asked him for advice, like expectation was Uchi is gonna say, well, the first thing you need to do, new players, is subscribe to Ladus Gaming and follow all his guides on early game, what you need to do. But then you know what he went with? He went with Chizgul. I mean, it's true that I follow Chizgul as well, but as a friend, Uchi wasn't meant to refer to Chizgul. Uchi was meant to say, follow Ladus Gaming guides. But either way,
I need to make my peace. I need to make my peace with Chisco on the stream quite a lot and saying stupid stuff. So
yeah, no, good. I mean, obviously, I mean, he's one of the bigger content creators, actually the biggest content creator, and he does cover every single topic. His guides are probably a lot more detailed than other people, but then obviously we put quite a bit of effort in as well in terms of making sure that we make good guides as well. So why not check all of them out? The main thing is there's a lot of so the main thing is there's a lot of content on YouTube, so you can get a lot of guidance. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. So man, thank you again for being here today and answering all the questions.
Thank you for having me, being the best content creator in this game.
Thank you. So yeah, so we'll I guess get in touch again with you. Well, actually not, I'm gonna get in touch. So guys that are interested in migrating to 1365, as we discussed before, get in touch with the R4s of the alliances where you kind of want to migrate, and we're going to leave it at that then. So Uchi, until next time, bye for now.
See you.
All right, man. Thank you again.
If you wanna apply to 365 with your main account, just send me a message. I'll invite you to the migration Discord.
There you go, guys. All right. Thank you, Uchi. I'm gonna end the stream soon, so bye for now, and I'll talk to you in game later.
Yeah, sounds good, buddy. Bye bye.
All right, bye. So, guys, that was Uchi for you. Now, I am going to probably close the stream because there isn't much else that we kind of planned to do today. We wanted to find out about 1365 migration plan, which we did, and it was good that we heard from one of the kingdom leaders rather than me kind of doing guesswork. So whatever you needed to know about 1365. So we're gonna call it a day. One thing that I'm gonna mention though is I'm really sorry that I missed a lot of the comments that we usually don't miss. We missed a few notifications as well, subscribers and so on, which we usually don't miss as well. So what I was doing is scanning through the chat to see if you guys had any questions for Uchi, which is what I was trying to read out. Other than that, because we obviously had a guest, other than that, I missed a lot. There's no point trying to kind of go through all of that. Now we got the BLN King on chat. I mean R5 on chat. So, and he just said 1365 is a dead KD. So, I don't know how to respond to that. So I'll show you who is that. So the last comment came from this guy over here. So Night King, he's Berserker 1365. And he said 1365 is a dead KD. Well, if it's a dead KD, then what do we say, right? So, and Uchi is saying Uchi wasn't nervous. Uchi was just out of breath. I mean, I don't know why Uchi should be nervous. I was the one that was nervous. But then now I'm sad because Uchi loves Chizgul more than he loves me. So, that is that. Night King also dead. Yeah, Night King is... the worst R5 that you could possibly have. Like never responds to questions, answers, or anything. All he does is tells me, don't live stream, don't stream this, don't stream that. That's something Uchi does as well, by the way. So Kingsland opening, I was gonna live stream. I had the schedule up as well, and guess what? The two people that messaged me saying don't stream. So we had Uchi and we had Night King messaging me saying don't stream, which is why you didn't see the live stream, at least on our channel. But I guess in a way that makes sense, because Kingsland at the start can be a little sensitive, so you better be safe. But anyways, thank you everyone for being in chat, keeping the chat lively, and special thanks to Uchi again for coming on chat, giving answers. Now over the next few streams, I do hope that we get to have more guests, because that way, it's something different, more entertaining, and you get to know someone else's point of view rather than me just rambling on all the time, just like how I'm doing now. So anyways, good night all. 1 a.m. my time, so I'm gonna leave you to that, and we are going to see you again at 13 UTC on Sunday. We are going to stream the actually I haven't decided. You know what, you guys can help me decide before I close the stream. Help me decide, which 13 UTC match do you think we are going to stream? Type in the chat, guys, which match do you want to see? So this time around we are gonna stick to Horus again. I think last time we watched a match from Bastard, and that wasn't that interesting, I guess. So which one of these 13 UTC is the only time slot that we can cover? Ooh, why not JST and Blackpink? This is gonna be interesting, right? This is not gonna be bad. Blackpink is a decent team. Samsung is not bad either. So JST is an option. The 1v match, it's gonna be like so 1v that it's not worth watching. JST, support your friends. Yes, we can definitely do that. So how about that, Night King? So I can stream the JST match. Yellen doesn't have a match, I guess. So how about you come on voice like Uchi did today and co-cast with us? So we cast together JST match. If you do that, we stream the JST match. How about that, man? We cast together. Yeah, I don't think there's any other match that's going to be more interesting at 13 UTC other than the JST, so maybe that's a good call. I'm just going to quickly check Anubis as well, in case... Ooh, this is not bad at all. Oh, nah. So this is not the old BIA, this is the sad BIA, so this is not going to be as good. 1671. This is going to be good as well. 1671 versus 1008. Manusia, what the name of your mascot channel? So in our logo we have two characters. One of them is Ladus, which is I guess myself, which is designed in a Julius Caesar theme, and next to it it's my daughter M, and she's kind of drawn in a Mulan style, if that's the question you're asking, man. Yeah, Anubis doesn't have anything too interesting, I would say. Hey, how come Bastard has scores already? Match fixing? Bastard has scores already? No. Bastard. Okay, this is not a bad match actually. This is a good match. CPLW, pretty close power. RR38 is a very strong team. I don't think 37IA is that strong this year. They were pretty strong last year. Probably not this year. Yeah, no, I guess we're Guess we are streaming JST. So Night King, what's happening, man? You coming on voice so that we can stream JST together and support together? As one of the R5s of BLN, shouldn't you be on stream and kind of, you know, voice support JST? Yeah, JST it is. All right. So 13 UTC Sunday, I'm gonna see you guys again, and we are going to cover the JST match. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people kind of streaming the same matches, but then obviously we'll appreciate if all of you guys can be here and watch the game with us. Insider view from 1365. When I say insider view, not that I know anything about JST strategy more than what you do. What we see is what we see. So not that I got like any insider information, but regardless, let's pretend that I do. And we're going to watch that match together. And tomorrow there's going to be a very special video coming. So we are going to do an account overview of Foe's account. So I finished the video. So we're going to post it tomorrow. So watch out for that as well. And bye for now. Everyone have a good night. And I will see you all on Sunday again. Bye for now.